Yo, what is going on, deities? Happy Monday. Hope everyone is having a great start to the week. Welcome again to another edition of Titan Talk. I'm Isiah. Killgoon is with us, and we brought in AJ because today we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff coming in the next SMITE 2 update. OB4 is on the horizon, and it's going to be really exciting, right?
Yeah, it's a big day. Always be patching, never stop, right? Like we had Achilles go live this morning in live. Saw some people playing him already, so that's going. And then we've got more stuff coming soon, right? We're going to be flash testing probably starting tomorrow, maybe the day after,
that's the plan.
For the next patch's content, which is why we wanted to show it to you guys today and give you a little first look at it all.
A little bit of a sneak peek. So we've got a couple of gods to talk about. We've got an aspect for a god that's already on the roster to talk about. Killgoon kind of spoiled that. And we've got a few new items, and AJ's here to walk us through everything.
New gods, new aspects, new items.
Chat wants to know what happened to the hoodie.
I blame Isiah for this
It
one.
is my fault, yeah.
It didn't. Titan Talk wasn't on my calendar. It wasn't on my calendar. I just showed up to work today, and I was like,
TLDR
I forgot about that.
I work on getting all the guests prepped for the show and get invites onto their calendars, and I forgot to send AJ an invite, so he did not bring the correct attire for the day. But regardless of the lack of Amma hoodie, we still got a lot of cool stuff to talk about.
And I would say, yes, chat. AJ does not just wear an Amma hoodie everywhere he goes. It's not the only piece of clothing he wears. It's it's a show thing.
Right. Cool. Well, let's start talking about some of the ported gods headed to the roster in Open Beta 4. Artemis is up first. She's going to be the god that releases next week.
Yeah.
Like Killgoon said. We had Achilles today, but we're going to keep going. Artemis next week.
Yeah, Artemis next week. And we're on a little bit of a run of hunters, just the way that we put the calendar together. So there'll be another hunter coming up again soon.
Yep.
But at the time we were putting it together, we felt like we didn't have enough hunters in the game. So apologies if there's a few too many kind of close to each other. We're going to do a better job of spacing out roles going forward.
Absolutely.
But for right now, we're excited to show off Artemis, who I think it's very Artemis-y.
Yeah, I've got the handy dandy laptop up here. We've got audio here. So AJ, let's start talking about Artemis's +1s and new features, and we can kick off with the passive.
Yeah, so unfortunately we won't be able to show this one because there is no stealth grass on the jungle practice map, which we'll talk about to the level designers about that. But a new aspect of Artemis, and it's also not in the text, which is also a bug we just noticed right before this, as we were preparing for this show. So Artemis has a new component to her passive, which is now Artemis is able to detect nearby enemy gods in stealth grass. Really cool. As the huntress goddess of the game, right, like one of the most fitting to it, she can just see you in stealth grass. You cannot hide from her.
Yeah.
It's only in basic attack range, I believe. So like it's really far away. You will still be able to hide a bit. You have to get a little close, which can actually make it like you can still get a bit of a surprise on her. You'll get in range for most abilities. But like we had a situation in playtest today where one of our players just hid in the stealth grass and the whole team like walked right by them. You will not be able to do that against Artemis.
Yeah, and it makes sense for a god of the hunt, to be able to hunt down the enemies even if they're trying to hide.
Tusky is sniffing you out.
I know, right?
You ain't hiding from him. He's just he's rooting around in there. Just we should have put more Tusky in the kit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So the rest of the passive is unchanged. Ability 1 unchanged. Should have parity, although we can talk about there's a little bit of we're consistently updating this one for visual clarity. So we did port the enemy Artemis that's like unified per skin, and we added even a little bit more motion to it and stuff like that to help people see the enemy Artemis trap.
Correct.
And I'm sure we'll get a lot of discussion on this. So it doesn't look like this to enemies at all. It looks like a very clear, distinct red warning circle with some additional, I think there's a little bow and arrow and crosshairs in the middle. So we will definitely be keeping out for feedback on that. Ability 2 does have a new effect, which if you want to go and fire that up and shoot the Emir. It now has a successful hit tracker. It spawns these little charges next to you, and if you complete all the charges, it will extend the duration of the effect, possibly infinitely, I guess. It has to be, you have to hit a god.
Correct.
Let me double check. Yeah, because that would be a little too crazy. But as long as you keep your perfect accuracy against gods, you can kind of get like a kill streak, a Guitar Hero streak kind of bonus going on, right? As long as you keep perfect, as long as you don't drop a note.
Yes, it is a infinite stim if you can hit your shots.
Yeah,
which,
so on a god.
So after reaching 4 charges for basic attacks hit on an enemy god, the buff duration will extend by 3 seconds, and it'll keep going. as long as you can keep hitting those basics.
Yeah, it's a fun little. I like when we add kind of little mini games to gods.
Yeah.
And I think this is kind of a fun little mini game. But it is, you're kind of doing the thing you want to do anyway. You know, land your shots, and you're going to be shooting better.
Very true. Artemis has always been good at this phase of the game. Just if she's free casting, you're in trouble.
Oh yeah,
right,
for sure. And then the 3.
I say
one of my favorite ability names, Suppress the Insolent.
Yeah, all of her ability kit is a little bit, grandiose. And that's okay. That's fun. No specific new changes to report. Just should be at parity. Just keep in mind when flash testing, and if anything feels wrong, let us know. It's about everything we mentioned should be feeling exactly like SMITE 1 or better. There was no other intentional changes to that ability. So
But there was a question about the traps. Are they wider? They should be the exact same size.
Should be.
SMITE 1.
Should be. The art maybe not exactly indicative of the hit area. This would be all the same as it always has been on SMITE 1, though. Like the wriggling vines. See that you can actually see the targeter looks like a little bit smaller than the actual wriggling vines. Man, well, it's pretty close. I guess. Actually,
close.
It is pretty accurate. So no, I don't think they got any larger.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Cool. And then we've got the ultimate, tried and true, Caledonian boar.
Tusky
going to get him.
So Tusky did have a bit of some cleanups to try to make sure he is, more responsive and at least performing at parity or more responsive than he was in SMITE 1. He won't just like miss his charge. Like if he's set to charge you and you somehow dodge it or juke it, he can change direction. He can kind of curve if he needs to. Yeah, we drifted Tusky now. But also like if you manage to not get stunned by him and then you re-enter the area, he will find you and hit you again. Or if you try to like just up down leap him, he will still try to get you after you return from the leap. He won't just ignore you. We're trying to make him more reliable. This ability was always kind of frustrating for the Artemis user in SMITE 1 because it could just be unreliable sometimes. Yeah. So we're really just trying to make sure it is reliable in the area of Tusky. He can find you and hunt you down and get you.
Correct. All right. Well, that is all of Artemis's base kit, but Artemis launching with an aspect, right?
That's right. And this one is interesting because this aspect affects the ability 1. If you could hover it for us.
Yeah. And I'll say
the aspect. Yeah, the aspect of the wild. So this kind of the goal of this aspect is kind of to make a mage Artemis, which is kind of crazy, right? Because she's always been so basic attack focused.
Right.
But this one changes the trap to be kind of a larger explosion area with a persistent repeated hit effect. So it's bigger. Let's see. That no longer roots and cripples. It now hits minions. So if minions or jungle, you can usually use this jungle Artemis, which we've tried a good bit. And it'll give Artemis a little heal, and it'll do a persistent AoE damage. So kind of like an Anubis AO3 or something like that. So it does not do a lot of damage if you just touch it once. You have to actually like stay in the area. Boom. Yeah. And we've even got some fancy art to go along with it, which is cool.
Looks really cool. Wait for the minions to come up and get it in lane here.
So we've had some testing, and this has been like she was a top. You could have him. Well, you could have him run a little bit closer to you. But yeah, you can place this. This is really good for lane clear. You can place it out ahead of time and let the minions path into it, and like blow up the whole wave. Like she is a top tier mid laner in our testing so far, and it even can be good in carry if you really just want to push the lane control. You are missing a pretty powerful CC. You're losing a really powerful. You're losing the whole root cripple entirely. Which is pretty key to playing it as Artemis. Usually, you're looking for like someone like Hercules or Sobek to set you up, or any Athena, Ymir, so they can stun, and then you drop a trap on someone.
Thor with the aspect we're going to be talking about later.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, Thor. So you lose that, but you get this pretty cool new like AoE trap detonation that can be really interesting. It's a very powerful lane dynamic, but it also has a lot of applications in like zoning people out of Fire Giant and other objective buffs. If they step on the trap, they're going to hit not just them, but their whole team, or potentially more damage to the bosses themselves. Like, yeah. Yeah, one playtest, Pawn had like perfectly placed these pre-level 1 and like out-cleared Mia's and Anubis and mid lane level 1. I'm like, that should not be allowed.
Right, yeah.
But, you have to triple stack it and stuff like that to get that to work. It's harder for her to just do on the fly.
Yeah, it's
but it can do some really cool... she can do some really cool stuff with it. It's a really cool aspect.
How many traps can she have out? Is it 4 or 5 or 3 or 4?
Does it say a max of 4
4,
trap, which I
yeah.
guess is an increase.
Yeah.
We were saying it was 3. I think that was another intentional increase by the designer, was just one more trap. You get one more trap.
Yeah.
You're right. Sorry about that.
And as a ability, it would proc Bluestone.
It procs all ability items. Ability-based procking items. But yeah, you have to stay in the area to take the damage.
Right.
Otherwise, you just get hit by one tick if you path out of it.
Yeah, and I will say, I saw a lot of the development for Artemis. We tried a lot of different things for her. We tried some crazier +1s. We tried some simpler things, and I think where we ended up is a pretty fun place where it's like the true Artemis kit is pretty authentic to what you know and love.
Mm-hmm.
It was never a super broken kit in Smite 1, but it was fun and it was iconic, and it could be really, really strong.
It's
in the right
it's
place, right?
it's a sleeper OP kit. She kind of always was in Smite 1. At least people would consider her a pub stomper. I think the community would at least agree with me on that. Like she can be really good at lower skill tiers, but she's actually always had surprisingly high win rate at higher tiers as well. She's just very consistent, has extremely high damage output. If she has a team that knows how to like peel for her, that's her main issue. She doesn't have any mobility, right? She has movement speed. She has some self peel with some CC, but she really needs to do, she really needs some additional peel to be good. But when we were porting her to Smite 2, there was some additional. Oh yeah, hits the totem. Yeah. That should still be an achievement because hitting the totem is a very weird.
Right.
The totem has like as an NPC, he doesn't follow the rest of the rules. So I've had bugs with my gods where like everything works except hitting the totem. I'm like, oh god, what is this totem? But no, Artemis did have to have a couple adjustments to like numbers as we ported her over. Like her stim was like 6,000 gold worth of items in Smite 2 or something like that. More than that. It was like 8,000 gold worth of items.
Wow.
So we did take the numbers down a little bit on the AO2. It still feels insanely strong in Smite 2. But yeah, a couple little tweaks because her numbers are just pushed in Smite 1 like crazy. Enough buffs over the years to work and combat the perception, but every time we buff her, it's because of perception. She's generally performing pretty well in Smite 1, but we buff her anyway because there's plenty of good reason to. But all those things stacking up when we ported her over, she was like crazy strong. Yeah. So we did do a couple adjustments, and I still think her passive is also just nuts. Like being able to hit just a flat percent damage increase is crazy.
Yeah. And then being able to detect enemies in stealth grass is a really fun thing added to Smite 2. So
yeah,
definitely
that's cool.
Looking forward to seeing what people do with Artemis as we start flash testing tomorrow. We are in dev today, so bringing us back to cams. Or is anything else for Artemis before?
I was just gonna say I love that chat's like, I don't know if I'd want to do it. It's a big trade-off because you're losing the CC, and the extra passive damage that you get from CC targets. But that's good, right? Like we want the aspects to feel like they are a trade-off. They give you something that's new and different, but isn't exactly the way that you're playing the original gods. So, please let us know how it feels when you're playing in the flash test, probably tomorrow. I'm going to answer one more question while you're pulling up stuff.
Yeah.
Why aren't we streaming on YouTube? We are not streaming on YouTube today. Our relay that we use to stream to multiple things simultaneously is broken at the moment, and we will be fixing that when we can to be able to stream on both once again. But for a little while at least, we'll only be live on Twitch, and we will be posting the VODs to YouTube as always.
Yeah, so the VOD will go up on YouTube shortly after the live stream today.
Yep.
Cool. All right, well, gentlemen, are you all ready to talk about Awilix?
Yes.
Headed to the Battleground in OB4.
Yeah, so I mean, first of all, she's had a pretty significant model update.
Yeah, we teased it on Friday's show.
Yes.
Did you show it already?
Yeah,
like
we
from
did.
the forward perspective.
We showed a picture.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, pretty significant model update to her, her clothing, face, everything really. She still very clearly reads as Awilix to me, like not any crazy silhouette breaking change or anything like that. Just a details pass really, but it was really a full model update. So she looks really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so going through the kit, the key thing to mention of this kit is extremely specific in how it flows, right?
Yeah, it is so field dependent.
This
It's
kit-
like Uller, right?
Yeah.
This kit, it's more, I think even more so than Uller, because this kit literally says like, press 1 and then press 2 and then press 3 and then press 4, and if you don't press it in the right order, like it just falls apart. So we really did not want to disrupt that in any way for this kit. So her +1s are kind of some extra additive optional effects. We really didn't want to disrupt that core flow of the kit. So therefore we found this kit was a specifically challenging kit that we wouldn't want to change or rework any one ability, because the whole thing just kind of falls apart. So the first +1 is on the passive initiative. So when you deal damage, you get this buff for 4 seconds. But if you dive in on Suku, you get it for 6 seconds.
Nice, cool.
So pretty simple change. You just get a little bit bonus on the effect for that extra duration if you really commit to the true dive, and lets you do the true dive into like the full combo, even after you pull back from the alt, so you get it all. So you just jump on a god, you can see 6 seconds.
Yeah, we actually had in playtest a lot of people like wanting to leap in to get the bonus, even when it might have been better to just right-click dismount, you know? So I think that like it gives you another interesting decision to make. Like, is it worth getting the longer buff, or is it better to just dismount and you know, fight?
Yeah, we really didn't want to encourage people to like it be always better to just right-click dismount instead of
some text here, but
Austin.
yeah.
It's okay. Let's see, next ability 1 and 2, no major changes, just parity. So ability 1 you get on Suku. I mean, Suku I think also got a bit of a model update, so he looks awesome. That's good. Just one thing to
after
notice.
we go in game, we'll show off the front.
They look
page.
really good on the front end page. Yeah.
I will say, like, one of the things that we've been tracking down recently has been occasionally she doesn't quite mount Suku properly. So if you see that happen in our flash testing, where she kind of just like T-poses on top of Suku, let us know. We think we've got every case where that can happen, but this is new tech for us. This is our first mounted character in SMITE 2. So any like issues that you see in the flash test that you can report to us, we would really appreciate. Yeah.
There you go. All right, so ability 3 has one really cool new +1, but first you need to get on Suku, and then you need to aim at those Ymirs, and you can fire the AO3 from Suku,
which is pretty sweet.
Oh yeah.
So this was probably
Chat likes it. Chat likes
it. That specific feature was one of the biggest requests from our ambassador brainstorm. So shout out to the ambassadors. Thank you for your feedback. We always, with every god, we usually get the ambassadors in to review the +1 pitches and to suggest things to us in the very early stages. Then we usually do another meeting with the ambassadors towards the end of the god's life cycle in development to test out how they're feeling. So yeah, this just lets you get some additional poke, or potentially even set up an additional, set up a knock-up quicker.
Right.
And then you
don't
can
have
choose to cancel or leap in depending on if it hits and stuff like that. It just makes the kit a lot more flexible on your engagements.
Can you ult while you're still on Suku, or do you have to dismount the ult?
That's a good question.
Let's see. Nope, you cannot.
You would need to do the quick cancel then, and then do it. And I think the reason we did that is because we wouldn't want you to alt, and then you'd also still be stuck on Suku.
Yeah.
And then you have to cancel it.
Yeah.
But if we made the alt cancel you out of Suku, that would be, it's like a lose-lose.
Right. Yeah.
So just we're giving the player a little bit more.
Yeah. Giving the player their agency.
The player control, to go there. So you can see it's very easy to pull that off. If you get the knock-up, you can just do the cancel into the 4. But if you don't get that off, you can keep on rolling on Suku without having to get back off.
on this laptop too.
Yeah.
Chat always has these crazy demands of us.
I know,
like,
right?
can you try to do this
Hit
while
the full
blinking? And we're like,
combo.
oh my god, man, this is a good laptop, but a tough keyboard.
You have slain an enemy.
So yeah, I mean the combo of the 1-3, it lets you poke without ever slowing down if you want to, or just like leech a minion wave, help clear a minion wave, excuse me. You know, same thing. And it lets you fire off abilities like you might not know if this is going to hit or not. You can kind of wait until the last second before you want to cancel. So not necessarily a huge game changer to the kit, but just gives this very, I guess, linear kit with a lot of 1, 2, 3, 4. It just gives you a new avenue of engaging and a new way of controlling the character, which I think is exciting.
Let me hover the abilities just because I know chat likes to see all the numbers and stuff. So this is Feather Step.
And like AJ said, this should largely feel like she does in Smite 1, right?
Yeah.
This is, if you've never played her, if you are a new player to Smite 2, she is a pretty high skill cap jungler who is capable of doing really crazy, amazing things if you are good with her. But if you're not very good, it's a little bit of a rough time sometimes.
Well, all of her abilities are situational.
Yes.
That's what people struggle
Yes.
with. Like the 2 only knocks up when you hit someone from the side or the back, right? So
Yes.
people just shoot this and go, what does it do? It doesn't do anything. Then you have to hit them in the back. The first ability you have to actually set up before you can even use it, which is very unique. And the ultimate will do very little if you don't successfully pull someone. So like having the whole kit be situational is what makes it high skill.
Yeah, I know. And I mean, even with the ultimate, I know there are some situations where you just want to pre-fire the ult without having to pull anyone just to get that
stem.
buff, right?
Yeah,
Just to
yeah.
get the stem.
Yeah, that is true. So then we have the ultimate, which also has a little bit new benefit too. So while the gravity surge buff is active, you will always gain the maximum benefit for feather step. So if you you can immediately feather step for full effect. You no longer have to set it up.
Let's see here.
You'd have to test.
because it's like, because you deal max damage with 3 stacks, right? On the feather step, 1, 2, 3, right? And then
You'd have to test with this targeter.
yeah, that did more damage.
Yeah.
Walk up and hit. But you can't just E on someone you haven't hit yet. So you have to at least, you still have to hit someone to mark them.
Yes, but then you're going to deal the max damage flip.
The max damage flip.
Yes.
Sorry, I should have been more specific because it doesn't look like it's moving into the full AOE when you're ulted.
So that was 180, and then if you ult, that's 240.
That's
Okay.
240.
So now hit once and then ult.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
240 plus even a little bit more from the power
from the stem.
From the stem. So I think that's it for her. Everything else we tried to keep parity. I've seen a lot of people ask about relics while on Suku. The rules were a little crazy in Smite 1, so we tried to keep them as similar as possible or even more flexible. So yes, you can blink while on Suku without getting off of Suku. In Smite 1, there was some relics you could use and some you couldn't. I know the designer in charge of this god was matching those up. I haven't tested them all before, but potentially Blink was one that people are excited enough that maybe Blink was not allowed in Smite 1 on Suku, but we really wanted to make it as flexible as possible. So now you can Blink on Suku.
Good stuff.
Yeah, flash test probably not today, probably tomorrow.
Yeah, probably tomorrow for the flash test. All right, I'm going to bring us back to cams.
And then she does not have an aspect going live.
Correct.
Yes.
We've been talking about it. We had some feedback that maybe the aspects and the god all being launched at the same time, maybe not the most ideal. So, we're not going to commit to one way or the other. Some new gods still might have aspects, some not, but potentially leaning towards launching a god with their +1s and their full port first, and then coming back and doing the aspect later.
Yeah.
Certainly something we might end up doing more of. But we'll still be doing new aspects every patch,
Right.
one way or the other.
And we do have two aspects in this patch that aren't these two gods. Okay, we have one aspect in this patch to show. The other one, I think, is probably maybe going to make it in the update.
I am hoping it'll still make it this update, but it was bugged today, and we didn't want to come on the show and talk about it and lock it in until we work through the bugs.
All right. So you want to look at the Ascension passes?
Yeah, let's look at the Ascension passes and stuff before we get into that last aspect. And some of the items as well. We just went over Awilix, so let's bring up Awilix first. Like AJ said, she looks really awesome in this presentation on the God Overview page. I love how she's just chilling on Suku,
Yeah, this new pose is dope.
Yeah.
I think
really great.
Our team really killed it with her. I mean, they always do. They're amazing. But I think I was hesitant when they were like, hey, we want to redo Awilix. And I was like, ooh, I don't know. But they were like, no, trust. And, it looks great.
One of those characters that the people dedicated to her are really dedicated.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And we made sure we had some ambassadors who were really dedicated to Awilix as well. We were like making sure they're on board with the changes was really important.
Cool. All right. Well, I will go to the
And she has the best emote of all time.
Yeah, it's great. So we've got Shadow Awilix up here first. I love how the purples are kind of transitioned to like that more crimson dark red.
Yeah.
Suku looks terrifying.
I know, right? That's a scary jaguar there.
It's pretty cool. I like the texture of the pattern is really cool.
Cool. And then you've got your tracker, or Murder Mitten Miles. That's a fun name. Distance traveled while riding Suku. That is great.
If India names that
my
shit fun.
God.
Yeah. You got your
That's
mastery
good.
emote. You've got your clap. You've got your objectives destroyed, God assists. And then the second epic tracker is Moonlight Boops. The number of times Awilix has knocked up 2 or more enemy gods with the same moonlight charge.
It's very much leaning into the cat memes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great. Moving on to the Onyx skin.
Ooh,
Looking
classic, but it always looks so sharp.
sick.
I use that. That's probably my most used mastery skin on every god is Onyx.
I really like the opal ones
Yeah.
most of the time. Let's see this one.
Oh,
That's pretty
Suku
good.
looks sick.
The opal,
Okay.
the leopard does look awesome.
Yeah, this one is sick. And then AJ kind of teased it,
The
but
best
the
emote of all
emote is
time.
great. Yelling at Suku. It's just so good.
It's just how can you blame Suku? That's so rude.
Right?
But you know, we had this.
You made
meme.
me miss my feather step.
This
Come
meme
on.
was just I as much as I fear this character in the right hands, this is one where you can juke her so hard. If you bait a Suku leap and you like 180 right as
yeah.
they leap, you are like a mile away
Yeah.
from the Awilix, and the Awilix just has to look at you like,
He's like, come on, Suku.
dang, I got ju-. Like if you do, you could really juke a Awilix hard. So this is what I think of when this meme happens, when you juke that Awilix
Yeah.
real hard. The support cat.
Then you got your wave. The title is Moon Goddess. The God Kills tracker. Got your badge. Oh, the badge looks great
Yeah.
with the new art.
We
It
did.
looks
We
really
got
good.
Suku in there too.
I love it. And then we've got Radiant Awilix and Suku as well. Looking clean
Yeah,
in that
very
white
clean.
and gold. And I believe the card effects is working as well. So you'll get this on,
nice.
at the very end of your Ascension Pass with Awilix.
Oh, the
I love
eyes?
the moon. The
The
eyes
eyes?
at the
Oh,
bottom
that's
and the
cool, yeah.
cycle of the moon
Yeah.
at the top. That's a good one.
That is. That's a really nice one.
That's sick. All right. I'm
We
gonna
usually
bring
have
us-
these super late, so it's cool. Props to the team for getting it in.
Yeah. This is dope.
These are awesome.
All right, gonna bring us back to cams while I go and track down Artemis up next, and back to the laptop.
Yeah, and kind of like I said on the show the other day, we did the Artemis remodel a couple years ago, where she got the all new model in SMITE 1, and it still looks pretty darn clean.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with
Looks
a
great.
few cleanups for SMITE 2.
Yep.
I think just looks really solid with the new engine.
All right, let's go to the Ascension Pass. Shadow Artemis, looking great.
Yeah.
And the first epic tracker is Master Trapper. Number of enemies trapped by Transgressor's fate.
I wonder if you can really farm that up with the
I know,
aspect.
right? With the
That's what I was
aspect, yeah. Your emote and then the clap.
It might not count as trapped if you didn't get
That's true.
crippled.
Yeah.
I like. Can you go back to the shadow skin for a second?
Oh yeah.
It just was like that. The red aura around her arm.
Oh
was just,
yeah.
like,
I didn't even notice that.
pretty
It's a good
sweet.
tattoo. It's just funny to me, Artemis trying to look fierce because she's such like a sweet
Right?
little thing.
Yeah.
She's like short.
It's
She's
the
like one of the
exact
shortest
opposite.
gods in the game.
Yeah, I think
It's
it's
just
like her and Rat are like
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you're like aw, and then you go boom, 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 and you're
Right,
dead.
yeah.
Like just crits and
And then
Flying
the
out of the
second
bushes
Hog
on you.
Wild.
epic tracker, Hog Wild. That's a great name.
a good name.
Number of enemy gods charged by the Caledonian Boar or Tusky, as we know and love him. And then we've got the Onyx skin.
Classic.
Even on
Still looks good.
Yeah,
Still looks good.
great.
still my favorite.
We've got Opal.
Yeah, on some of the more like just normal humanoid characters, I feel like the Opal looks just like JRPG hero, and I am a weeb. I love it.
Then the mastery is just oh, poor Tusky.
This is certainly a meme reference, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
Somewhere.
just don't.
Chat probably knows.
I don't
Yeah.
even remember which one this is from. I was part of this Willick Suku pitch, but I don't remember this
Oh,
one.
Mudang.
Apparently, it's a Mudang reference.
Ah,
It's Scarlet.
Mudang.
Scarlet,
yeah,
are you
yeah.
watching? Scarlet,
We've been
you
trying
finally did
to get Mudang in
Yeah.
for a while, but
Then we've got our wave emote. Hi, Artemis. Hunter is the title is Hunter, fitting for Artemis.
I feel like if I am any carry player, I'm going to want this Ascension
Right,
Pass
yeah.
to get this title, so I can just be a hunter everywhere.
true.
You've got your God kills. You've got the badge, and then we've got Radiant Artemis.
Ooh,
Yeah, looks good.
very clean. I like the kind of like light gray pants. Like it's a good contrast.
Yeah, her
And
armor is really conducive to these recolors.
Yeah.
Works really well.
Let's see if we've got the card effects in. Ooh, we do. Nice.
I like the arrows.
Little
yeah.
arrows on the side.
Yeah.
Got the little vines here for the trap.
Oh, they shoot on the other side too.
Nice.
Nice.
That's a good one. Well, that is the Artemis Ascension Pass. I'm going to go back to cams really quick while I prep for the next new aspect for a ported god.
And this one, I think,
coming
is
to the battleground.
very cool.
Yeah, this one's crazy.
It's really good.
Like,
Do y'all want to spoil it before
I'll just intro this with, like, some aspects are like, we did one little thing and it makes the god feel really different. Yeah. Some of them are like, this could kind of be a new god. This maybe isn't quite that far, but there's just a lot of different stuff. Like, almost every ability I feel like got touched with this. Like, I'm exaggerating slightly, but it's cool.
It makes sense. We're trying to make aspects like have a lot of variety. So we don't want every aspect to like completely touch every part of the god's kit. And some of them just like don't really make sense in that way. It's just like there's a lot of just feel, and there's a lot of vibes in the aspect design.
A lot of vibes.
Yeah. I mean, that's true for all game design, but it's definitely true for aspects. So some are smaller, some are tighter, some are more focused, some are a little bit broader, some are a little bit wider. But yeah, this Thor one's really cool. Isaiah, you want to pull up the text
we are
so we can
in
take a look
game.
at it?
Let's talk about it. Thor's aspect is aspect of Thunderstruck. AJ, talk to me about this one.
Right, so his Thunderstruck passive is now always active. When you trigger it, so you have to hit 3 times on a god, it will heal Thor and slow and tremble the god, which those were previously, it was just bonus damage. Now it does these things. Warrior's Madness gets you protections instead of strengths, but he's losing damage on Mjolnir's Attunement. The double tap essentially does not do any bonus damage, and Tectonic Rift does no damage. No damage scaling. So some significant damage sacrifices in favor of this more
CC
brawler CC protections and self-sustain effect.
Yeah, it's worked well for us in solo and support in testing.
Take some damage really quick.
Could also, I guess, maybe be a tanky jungle, but definitely it works as a support for sure.
And one of Pon's favorite things about this aspect is that the hammer is always lit up. And the hammer was always lit up when you're this passive because your Thunderstruck effect is always on.
All right, so let me trigger it on this Ymir here. See, I get the heal. Get the tremble, and as it arcs, of course.
Yeah, and you'll see, like, when you do your spin hits 3 times. So your spin is going to trigger it by itself if you hit all 3 times of your spin. Your wall into hammer throw is going to hit 3 times. So you can trigger this a lot of times if you are chaining your abilities together well.
Yeah, these numbers are coming down. I can tell you that already. So don't worry about it.
Focus less on the numbers and more on the concept.
Yes, the numbers are going to come down before the flash test. Because it was very strong in our testing already, but we really like the concept. We think that the pieces are there. Just the tuning needs to come down a bit, but this is a really cool aspect. We also had another aspect, a little bit more simple one, but very focused. So I think it's exciting, but we're not going to talk about it today. Maybe later in the week. Just wanted to make sure that we fixed out the bugs on that one first.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the sweet plays with Thunderstruck Thor.
I think this one might become like the default in solo. Yeah.
Double kill. Triple kill.
Yeah, this one is really cool. I can't wait to see what the community comes up with this for this one.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
People are saying attack speed plus this. They're already cooking.
Yeah, like the kind of tanky Amaterasu warrior attack speed and bruiser build could work really well with this.
Yeah, cool. And then reminders on the drawbacks on this, right? Is that there's no damage scaling on your wall anymore. And your return of your axe or of your hammer throw deals no damage. Yeah. And the return on the hammer throw deals double damage normally. So you're losing 2/3 of the damage.
66%, right? Yeah, of the damage reduction. So it's pretty significant damage reductions.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, chat call out attack speed. Do you want to start talking about some of the new items coming in OB4?
Yes, of course.
Thor may not be the prime candidate for this new item, but let's talk about the first one. We've got Nimble Ring.
Yeah, so this is a new item going to be in this next patch of Smite 2. This is just the Nimble passive from the glyph.
Bengross Talon glyph in Smite 1.
But it's just that glyph passive as its own item because we just felt like this was a cool passive and this was strong enough to work as an item on its own. So we're just another potentially a key tool to making true intelligence ADCs better. We already have Smite 2, so like Soul and Zeus can just build strength if they want to go full ADC, and that's actually pretty good. But if you want to have a little bit more of a splash, or you want to have a higher int build for your abilities and then get something to just get your ADC features online a little bit more, you can go ahead and build the Nimble Ring.
Yeah, it'd be cool. And then speaking of Bancroft's Talon, shall we talk about it in Smite 2?
Yep, Bancroft's Talon finally returns. You know, an item that a lot of people really liked in Smite 1, really popular. So we're excited to bring it back in Smite 2. It's going to give mages, especially, you know, ones like Anubis, who already has a new passive in Smite 2 that gives him stacks as he gets lower. So this is going to stack, you know, just work even better on him than it did on Smite 1. It was always his bread and butter item in Smite 1. But yeah, some slight adjustment to the stats and stuff here, but the Bancrofts as you know it and love it.
And we had to preemptively nerf this because we were watching a fight back the other day, and like a character went from like 0% health to 100% health in one ability, and we're like, ooh, maybe too much. So
yeah,
it may still be good. You know, definitely let us know how it feels during the play test. The reason why we run flash tests is to get feedback from y'all, and you know, numbers are easy-ish to change at this point, right? It's like that's why we want to test these things.
Yeah. Cool. AJ, did we have anything with Typhons in this update as well? All right, I'll hover Typhons and we can talk about it.
It got its passive.
Nice.
So it used to just be a stat stick, but now it has the passive. So
Lifesteal characters are eating this update, you know?
yeah, so now you can actually build a more dedicated mage lifesteal build if you want to. And these are the two key enabler items for that.
Yeah. Cool. And then I believe we had one more item coming in OB4 that we wanted to talk about.
We do.
We've talked about attack speed and lifesteal, but we should talk about some protections as well.
Speaking to my people,
Magi's Cloak.
Magi's Cloak.
To Smite 2 this update as well.
Yes, we were talking to...
Oh no, ads. Oh no, chat.
I even ran 5 minutes of ads before we started.
Chat, are ads running? Can you hear us?
I don't see people complaining about ads.
Oh, they're just happy about the bubble. Okay, all right,
cool.
we're good. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we're good.
So
sorry.
The bubble is back.
Yeah, I think potentially even a better item in Smite 2, just with the way the game works.
The one relic constriction definitely makes this item
okay, now they got ads.
Really appealing.
They have ads now.
Okay, ads now. We'll chill for a second.
Take a little
take a little breather.
How long do the ads usually take?
7 of them, so that would be
2-ish minutes, something like that.
Just hang out for a couple minutes.
Can't you pause those? Turn them off?
So we have run pre-rolls.
Yeah, and
to try and get rid of them.
We also, so there's basically a setting that we have to change before we start the stream every day, and we maybe did not do that.
That's probably what happened.
I have heard a lot of Twitch streamers complain about this type of thing before, but I know it's possible. I just don't know
the details. Pause the Titan Talk, guys. We're paused. We're frozen, you know. Here, well, while we wait, I'll go ahead and buy it. That way, when people come back, they can see the fancy bubble.
It's a good looking bubble.
Drop the name of the H God while we can't hear you. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, man.
Can't some people see us?
Yes.
Yeah. Some people can if you've got like Twitch Turbo, if you're sub to the channel.
Right.
Do karaoke. You were talking about a theme song before.
Yeah, I was thinking that we need as much as I like the music that we intro to every day, I was like, we need some kind of like. Do you watch the reels of the guy that opens should I open it or should I keep it sealed? He opens like Pokemon packs.
Yep.
And he's got the other song for like when he gets them back from grade. He's like, "What grade did you get?
Yep.
Is it good or is it?" Anyway. But yeah, I love that. I'm like, I need more like personalized songs for what we're doing.
We'll have to get it. We'll get a theme song going.
Yes.
20 seconds left.
Okay, we're almost back. Sorry, guys.
Apologies, chat. We aren't back. Wait. Yep. We hear you, or we see you chatting.
20 sec, 30 sec.
No ads for me, W.
Oh, that is an interesting observation that the chat has. That the bubble is kind of like breathing, right? It's not like a fixed width the way it was in Smite 1.
It's got new FX treatment.
It's definitely not the same bubble.
Yes.
It is a different bubble. I'm not sure where it came from, but it is not the same bubble. It's a new bubble. It's a little bit more subtle, which I think is good. The other one was like really bright and in your face and just kind of eating up the whole screen.
Cool.
This one is still, you can clearly tell it's there, but it is It is a new and improved bubble.
Yes, in chat saying we are back. So let's talk about Magi's cloak.
We use the updated art because the general Magi's cloak art is really, really old and rough.
And better stats than you got on Magi's in Smite 1. Like Smite 1 is like 10 of each stat or 15 of each stat, right? Like it's a better, it's not like as much of a trade-off, it seems like.
I don't remember, honestly. I'd have to double check. Pondon implemented this one. But a lot of times we have to reduce the stats as we bring from Smite 1 to Smite 2, because Smite 1 items are like super buffed over the years. Like for Mantle had to come down significantly. But yeah, Magi is just going to be a really valuable effect. And this is a tanky item, but this is not just a tank item, right? This is a really good splash item on DPS characters. Yeah. If you have someone who's just really giving you trouble, this is a good item to buy. If you didn't pick beads as your one relic and you need something additional, this is a little bit, easier to use than the talisman. There's a lot of exciting things about this item.
Yeah.
And we know that these are all mage items and tank items. We are going to be looking into some strength and some bruiser items for next patch. But we were just looking at the top of the list and what we felt like people were really excited about and feeling like needed to come to Smite 2 as soon as possible. And this is what we came up with.
Nice. Cool. Well, that was a lot that we covered. We had Artemis, Awilix, Nimble Ring, Bancroft Talon,
item
Typhons, Magi's Cloak, Thor Aspect, and that's just the beginning.
2 gods, 2 aspects, 4 items.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other little like quality of life stuff in here that we aren't going to go through today, I don't think. So.
No, I think we're still waiting on the full round of everything. But as always, if you have anything that you want to call out now.
No, the only other thing I should say is we do have the new skins. I don't know if the skins are ready to take a look at.
Let's see. I'm in dev, so it's a lot more
might
risky
be harder
to show off some of the skins. But I know in the last show I did go through the whole list of all the skins that were coming. So if you want to just go back to that VOD in Titan Talk from Friday's show and just get the list, and maybe on Wednesday, or hey, you'll even see them in the flash test if you play in the flash test tomorrow for all the new content that's coming.
Oh, it's the new store in? Store.
Let's see.
Oh, hey, look. Bam. There we go.
Is there anything?
Yeah. No, I think this is all. Wait, go to. Yeah. No, that's all okay to show, I think.
Oh, cool. I'll bring it up.
Probably.
Then. Probably.
Yeah. If we spoil anything, I'm sorry.
Cool.
Yeah. So this is on an account that owns everything. So it's looks a little different. But basically now when you click the store tab at the top, you're going to get this featured tab that just is like, here's the newest release things. Yeah. So you can see you can see what is new and you can buy it more easily.
Yep, and I believe this is the list of all the skins in the update.
Yes, yes. So and that's why I was like, this is great. So you got Summer Fun Medusa. You got Little Bites Sobek.
Oh, he's so cute.
You got Hellforged Thor. Oh, dude, look at that skin making up the.
Oh yeah,
that's
that is creepy. Goodness gracious,
that's a cool skin.
I even noticed that.
Yeah. Baron Frostchild Emir. We are
classic.
I think that's supposed to be one word though. I think it's Frostchild is a single word. So, as a gentleman skin enjoyer, and La Roca, and then we have one more, Foxy Amaterasu, the classic. So yeah, these are if they are classic skins that are new to Smite 2 that weren't previously. Let me back that up. If they were Divine Legacy skins and you unlocked them in Divine Legacy, you'll just get them in Smite 2.
Right.
If they're classic skins, you'll be able to get them with 100% Legacy gems. And if they are just kind of like new stuff, then they'll be priced accordingly. And then if they're cross-gen skins, you'll get them if you owned them in Smite 1, and they'll be priced 50-50 in Smite 2. And they're also, I don't know if the chess screen is ready to show.
I'd
go back to
probably
cams.
not.
Yeah, turn it off before we
not.
click to
Oh yeah, it's not ready, y'all. Sorry.
Yeah, it's super broken.
Yeah.
But yes, but we are, like I said, it's going to work basically the same way as Smite 1 did. It's everything's equal drop chance. Yeah. There's no rolling duplicates, yada, yada, yada. So, but I believe that should be in the update when it actually goes live, but just not in the first flash test.
Right. Cool. All right. Well, we covered a lot. We got about 15 minutes if we want to take any questions. Hang out with chat for a little bit. I know we kind of took up the majority of the show, but we had a lot to talk about. So
yeah.
Someone said to arrange Vulcan's store by level, but that should already be the case.
So I think what they want is they want like different breaks for like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 instead of like it's all
It's
in
one
header.
long line
Yeah.
left to right. So it's the 1 1 1 7 7 7 14 14 14.
Yeah.
But if you made it 3 rows, that would push everything down off screen. I don't know. I thought
Oh,
that'd be
maybe not on
I
console.
thought that'd be frustrating.
Oh, we should look at the console store.
Is the
experience.
console store broken in that regard?
It might be. Apparently, it is not by level in the console store.
Okay.
Okay, we'll take a look.
That makes sense. That's good. I'm glad we asked, so we can figure out that bug. Well, there's a lot of questions coming in really fast.
I know, right?
Yeah, we're not talking about any more aspects. We had one that is in progress, but we'll talk about it maybe later in the week. Hunbats can probably just still get nerfs, which is probably fine. We're going to be reviewing the God data from the weekend here today and working on the next set of balance patches.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I was going to say, somebody asked, is there any balance changes incoming? Yes, there will be balance in OB4. Not quite ready to talk about it yet. AJ and the crew are still working through it.
Potentially some emergency hotfix balance before then, maybe, if we see anything really crazy in the data. But yeah, we talked about kind of just the new features today, but we'll talk about more of the general balance later in the week for OB4.
Yeah, I don't know if we have mentioned that we're looking into tank stuff, making tanks feel tankier. Is that in this update? Or are we still working on it?
I would say not in this update.
Okay,
we're definitely working on a few things. That might take a little longer. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself.
It's a tricky problem to solve, and we want to take our time, right?
Yeah, it's also just like it can come from a lot of different things. Yeah. So like it doesn't just mean that protections items aren't good enough. It could mean too much pen items, pen items are too good. People are getting too much gold too fast. People in different DPS roles are getting higher level too fast. There's a lot of different things that can contribute to this. So we'll be looking
Bobby
at.
says it's pen.
It might be. We tried a really hard like trade-off option in SMITE 2 at the start, where we're like, you got a lot of pen but not much else on the items. But over time, the community feedback has kind of pushed us back towards SMITE 1 items that give like a really balanced stats and give you a lot of stats. So it's probably safe to bring those down.
People are asking about protection pots. Do you want to talk about our pot experiment, or is that not for public consumption yet?
No, we're not going to talk about that, I don't think. But
too much insider baseball.
I don't think the protection pot is a good solution to this problem at all. And I don't even know if it actually helps. I'm actually concerned that it would just be a net negative for the game as a whole. So tank potion is not something we're hurrying on, and I don't know if it's something we'll ever do, to be honest. I think I'd rather focus on looking at getting tanks' core tankiness into the gods and into their core items as opposed to auto potion.
Did we fix VGS on consoles? An update went live today, which should have improved that.
Yes.
Apparently what was happening was that you were VGSing when you released buttons instead of when you pushed buttons, which was contributing to it feeling bad or being like delayed. So should feel better now. If it still doesn't feel good after today's update, please let us know.
So I think this is in this patch, but apologies to the UI team if we don't get it in. But people are saying we need a way to identify what damage type each god does in game. We are adding that to the tab screen.
Yes, yeah, I followed up on that after the last Titan Talk when people asked for it, and
it's in. I've seen something in.
That's why I was asking before the show went live if you could see the scoreboard.
Oh,
but we were in practice.
You can't press tab in jungle practice because you get the jungle practice menu. But yes, you'll be able to press tab in OB4 and you'll see who does magical, who does physical damage. You'll have the symbol right next to them.
It ended up being a super easy thing to get in. Like I really do go back with like everything you guys ask for every day, and I'm like, hey, is this easy? Is this easy? And sometimes it is easy and they can do it real quick, and sometimes it's like, that's gonna
take some time.
Geez, it's moving so fast. I'm trying to like.
I think I saw this in Slack, but someone reporting in Assault that some teams are sometimes getting 2 healers instead of 1. I believe this is being tracked right now, though.
Okay.
Leaderboards in general is something that we're continuing to work on, and we'll have better leaderboard stuff soonish. I did follow up. People asked for announcer packs last time. I said the people want announcer packs, and it was like, okay, well, maybe as a next step after music packs, right? It's not off the table by any means. It's just not, not going to be in the next update.
Yeah, not something we can just start on immediately right now.
Let's see here. Can can you please change the main menu background and maybe the music? Aladdin is so boring. Aladdin's
How
not
can you be
boring.
bored
You
of
know?
Aladdin? Probably we'll update it when Princess Bari comes, would be my guess.
Yeah, which is coming up soon.
Pretty soon here.
I know, right?
And if keeping the new god there for too long is boring, we could potentially consider going back to the Zeus and the Hecate, and like rotating through some other ones in between. But it would be kind of like feel random then. So, new god coming soon. Then we'll get that. Let's see. I'm trying to look if there's any more like gameplay design questions for me. There's a lot of more high level quality of life stuff. Why can I say place ward for teleport, but we can't teleport to wards?
I brought that up after the last
I
video.
know. That's funny because we ported all the voice lines, even if the mechanics aren't in yet. Like that's it. That's the answer.
Yeah.
Teleporting, the actual Smite 1 teleport is like a really high scope feature to add to the game. It's hard to control on consoles. It requires new UI. It's a lot. It's just a lot, and it's not something we really think was stat valuable. It often just caused a lot of balance problems. I mean, many solo laners constantly did not like the fact that teleport existed. They just felt like it was, and we have the teleporters back from base already right now. It's just like, it's super not valuable to add to the game right now, in our opinion. So yeah, you can use the voice line, but I guess, if this is something that's actually bothering people, I'd cut the voice line before I added teleport. Although we certainly don't need to do that. We could just let you use the voice line and kind of meme, because that's funny. But it would just be a really expensive active item to add. It would take multiple departments, lots of time, and even then, it's debatable on whether or not it's a actual benefit to the game, because lots of people rallying ritual, teleport, upgraded teleport, all of those things were always, they were hotly debated about whether or not they were actually good for the game or not. So
I saw a question about having individual cast mode ability
This is
settings.
hype, chat.
Yeah, so
This is very hype.
I pulled it up on the laptop. This is in dev right now. I'm not sure if it's going to be an OB4 or not.
I believe it's supposed to be.
We have cast mode global, cast mode ability 1, 2, 3, alt. You've got cast mode settings for individual relic slots and your active item slots. We now have the option to choose what cast setting you want per active item slot coming in, being worked on. So.
And these would save per god, too, if they're working off the previous settings. So if you go in and change these ability ones while you're loaded into, who are you playing right now? Artemis. These would only save for Artemis. The global would apply to all gods, but these settings you said here would only save to Artemis, and you could change to any other god and set them up again.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, and this is in the game already for abilities, but people have been asking a lot for being able to control actives in the same way. There are people that ask about Yemoja and Sunbeam Bow and Thanatos and Sunbeam Bow. Do you have any feelings about that?
Daily push to make Yemoja able to toggle Sunbeam Bow again.
Yeah, Sunbeam Bow now no longer works on Yemoja and Thanatos because they don't have mana.
I am okay with it working on them.
We'll have more of a conversation.
Yeah.
internally.
So
I feel like, at least for Yemoja, it was working at one point.
It was.
Because I feel like
was
I
this
saw
an intentional
fun meme
balance
video.
change?
I'm not sure.
Because these were both definitely
They
working
both
at
were,
one point.
and then they changed,
Is this
apparently it does still work on Thanatos. Okay, so
okay?
I guess it was just Yemoja it stopped working on.
Yep.
So
If it's Yemoja and if it's a bug, if it wasn't a specific balance change, then I would consider it a bug. And yeah, we could look into that right away. If it was a balance change, I'd want to go back and look at that balance, and what the justification for that was.
Yeah.
I don't recall that balance change though. So, okay, possibly Yemoja ADC coming back.
Instead of releasing a God release schedule, any thoughts on putting out a God priority list showing tiers of how soon we can expect gods to come out?
I would say that's still, it's just hard because it doesn't really work that way, right? It's because you have to prioritize across different classes and across our workload, right? Like if there's a really hard god, then maybe we do an easier god as the other god because it's like this update, right? To some extent, like Awilix is a very hard god, and Artemis is a much easier god. Tusky's hard, but other than Tusky, it's a much easier god to implement, right? So we aren't going to do two complicated gods at the same time, even if they're both high priority. And I think it would be hard to convey the information the right way through that. Yeah. We do plan to have more information about who's coming and when, but we're just not ready to share that yet.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is just we need to be able to stay flexible on our side, and we want it to be a bit of a surprise. If we just give an extremely long list right now, number one, it'll probably be wrong eventually because we need to stay flexible, and number two, people might just get too fixated on a certain point way in the distance or be upset. It's just like it's more fun to get excited about everything as it rolls out individually and have a little bit of a surprise factor to it. Obviously, we're okay with spoiling things, and we're not making any really concerted effort to hide things from data miners or anything like that, but like I think just releasing one long megalithic list from the developers would just be kind of like anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Right. I saw a couple of people ask about tanks, and we already mentioned earlier we're going to continue. We're going to be looking at tank stuff in the future for sure. Let's see.
Bobby Sky's Alani check for the day.
Orange kiss for me today.
I have pink slush.
Is this like a new meme that this is what
Yes.
you guys drink? What even are these?
It's
Some gamer energy juice? No, I'm not drinking that.
it's like a Red
No.
Bull, but like hip. I don't know.
It's hip for the kids,
Someone asked if I drink it. So first of all, I'm not hip with the kids, so no. Also, I don't drink any energy drinks. I'll drink like black coffee. That's it. And diet soda, but nothing energy drink. No way. It makes me just feel bad to drink those things. Fun fact. I'm sure that's what people really wanted to know about on the Titan Talk show.
Chat's like, I've never heard of this drink before Titan Talk.
Somebody in the chat was
They should give
referencing
us
it.
money
They should.
for
You know?
spreading the good word of Alani.
Somebody in the chat was referencing it, so that's why when you guys
Yeah.
started talking about it, I wasn't that surprised about
It's
it
a
because
thing. It's
I didn't
every
even
show.
know
Yeah,
what
it's
it
amazing.
was.
The Alani check,
Yeah. I saw this.
You guys got to work on that sponsorship
I
deal.
know.
Like, come on.
I think that is a relatively fair note that in Smite 1, usually when we had like kind of gender specific titles, we also had like the other one included in a bundle. So Hunter also unlocking Huntress is
Or maybe actually make more sense for Artemis to be Huntress, and we can make a Hunter somewhere else along the lines.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's okay for some titles to just be locked to that gender for now, right?
Yeah.
And you can make the other version eventually and somewhere else. Like, that's probably okay.
someone thinks that Izanami and Mulan in so early is crazy to me. They are some of the most popular gods in Smite 1. They have been for a very long time, and they are popular with like all skill level players too. So
Don't get me started on Izanami again. It's like I always go on the same rant. Strength items, yes. So new strength items and warrior, bruiser, solo items are high priority now that we've gotten through a couple of the top mage items and tank items. But for a long time, we were just recently dealing with a lot of feedback that like int in general just wasn't as good. Like there's still multiple pros saying like strength is just the best by far. It's not even close. So we wanted to make sure we brought in those int items first. But yeah, now that we've done a couple more int items, and this is also may just be a balance thing, not a design thing. So like if strength is just overtuned, that doesn't mean that strength should not get any new toys either.
Right,
We do want to deliver those. And so strength and bruiser will definitely be our priority for next patch. Cosmetics, trying to apply all. We have talked about this a lot. This is definitely something that we are considering and looking at.
we were talking about it more this morning.
Good. I do think we could do the simplified apply all. I would like to do that.
Yeah.
It's just we have a lot of UI features that we're working on, so trying to find time for them is tough. It's like everything is important for sure. So then narrowing down just what's most important can be difficult.
This is an interaction question for you, AJ, but can Awilix pull Aladdin off of the wall?
So my understanding is yes. That while he is on the wall, he is leaping. So you can, I think in an earlier test, we had an issue where you could only pull him while he was diving off the wall. And multiple people in the playtest said it was a bug and it should not work that way. You should be able to literally yank him off the wall.
There you go.
So I haven't verified it personally, but from what I heard of the team and just trusting that got done, yes, you should be able to pull him right off the wall as soon as he starts
Try it
running
out
up
in
it.
flash test tomorrow.
Which is great because I think it's good that we have another jungler that can hard
Some more
counter
counterplay.
Aladdin. Yeah, I think that's really cool. I mean, that's one of the things that's coolest about Awilix, right? Is she has one of the most specific hard counters in the entire game, which I don't think it would be fun if the whole game was super hard counters like that. But I really like how Awilix does it. Yeah, someone yelling in all caps, stop asking about gods. Like, we're not going to spoil distant future gods. Sorry.
When does this update actually come out? Should be live next week.
Yeah.
Probably Monday or Tuesday with the first god, Artemis, and then Awilix would be a week after that.
All right. Well, we are at
we
2,
can keep adding more
so-
infinite items for sure. There is no limitation on number of items. I don't think we can just keep making them.
Yeah. All right. It's time for one more question. How we can get back to work and get ready for Flash Test tomorrow.
Yes.
I don't know. You guys
I'm
go
supposed to be
first.
talking to
or-
Max right now about one of his ideas. So
What is the? Which one feels like a more AJ question?
yeah.
Some Ajax in all caps. For Thor's aspect, his one just completely missing the double tap damage or just the 2 times damage on return.
I think it is the return damage, which is 2x damage.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
So you
instead
do-
of 2x damage, it does 0 damage on the way back. But it still
Right.
does
So
the
you get
1x on the way out.
1x on the way out. Like so 33% of the damage. I think.
And I will say that the hammer on the way back, I believe, does still add a tick of thunderstruck. So
I wonder if the return still hits if you didn't hit with the first
With
hit.
the initial.
oh yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
I'd have to ask. I'd have to check. No, I can't spoil upcoming gods. It's just what everybody keeps asking me to
Pawn
do.
says return deals damage still.
So you can. Oh, so it does.
It just
still-
doesn't deal double damage.
Okay, so it is.
okay.
So
Thanks,
it's not the 66 reduction. It's only the 33%
Okay,
reduction.
cool.
So
Sorry,
you do
we
get
had that wrong, Pawn.
one hit. It's okay. You know, it's a little bit vague via the wording. Healing and shielding bolstering items. That's a fun question because actually we've been talking a lot about healing and shielding negating items.
There you go.
We feel like that we don't need any more healing and shielding. There's a lot already. So we are actually looking at anti-heal items, and anti-shield items are definitely things that are towards the top of our list for future patches. So sorry for that question kind of hitting you with the opposite, but yeah, you're gonna get nerfs before you get buffs if you're a healer and shielder. That's a good Ajax question.
Cool.
Yeah. And I guess I still gotta pick one.
There's still a lot of questions about like updating gods that are already in the game's voices or models, and generally the answer is no.
Yes.
If the god's already in the game, we're not reworking them, we're not changing them, we're not making lore-driven decisions. Like people are really like, there's a lot of fans that have built up on these gods over the year that really like their voices and really like their looks. If they've already been in Smite 2 for some amount of time, most likely we plan to keep them like that for ever.
Yeah, I think
Which always has an asterisk on it. It's a live game, things can always change, but if it's already in the game, the plan is to keep it like that.
Yes, I think the potential caveat to that is that Achilles and Aphra, there was a little bit of discussion around the faces not looking right in certain scenes. So
Yeah, there was some of that. I think was just the camera work.
I think it was
not the
some
model
rigging stuff more than anything else. But
Some of that stuff, yeah. If it's like a bug, maybe I don't have any information on that. I think there's also like, just personally speaking, the fact that our gods default to perfectly staring at the camera makes them look worse. Usually they look a lot better at just like a slightly three-quarters, like a slightly angled view.
Profile.
Especially gods with like snouts and stuff, like Anubis and Sobek look straight up ridiculous when you look straight down the snout at someone. Like they just don't look good like that. So I think there are things that are contributing to that perception that are more intense than like needing a full face remodel. A lot of these gods also just they were ported.
Yeah.
So they look like they always did. So other things that could be contributing to them as worth considering because the model itself is unchanged.
Yep. I guess I still had to pick a question. Sorry. I
Find a good one.
I'll
I
keep
know,
stealing.
I know.
Yeah, they're memeing me because I keep stealing them.
Are there any future plans on dubbing the game? While we still have a fewer amount of gods, it would cost less to dub. Try at least to dub the standard voice packs to 3 or 4 languages. This would increase a lot the public around the world. No current intent to do that. It is still very expensive to dub the game, and it is a lot more to manage, both in terms of like files and file size and all that. We don't think there's too much benefit for doing that. So we previously had a Brazilian Portuguese, I believe it was, dub for Smite 1, and don't believe it had too much effect on the game. Similarly, I think I don't know if we actually had Spanish dub or if we just had like some Spanish. I don't know. I know we had the Brazilian Portuguese though, so it didn't.
Yeah,
really
do we
do
have
too
that
much.
for every god though?
For Brazilian Portuguese, we did through the first
wow.
first 50 gods
Yeah.
or whatnot when Level Up was managing it. So yep.
Cool. All right. Well, Killgoon and Ajax, thanks so much for joining us today for Titan Talk.
Yeah, thank you.
Lots of cool stuff in OB4 for players to look forward to. Artemis, Awilix, Nimble Ring, Bancroft's Talon, updated Typhon's Fang, Magi's Cloak, Thor Aspect. Lots of cool quality of life stuff. The skin screen for people to check out all the new cosmetics coming to the game. So definitely keep an eye out for a potential flash test, hopefully happening at some point tomorrow. Keep an eye out on our official social media channels, the official Discord. We'll be sure to let you all know whenever you all can hop in and play and get an early look at all this cool stuff coming to Smite 2. But until then, we will see you all on the battleground. Hope everyone has a great day and a great rest of the week. Peace.
Thanks, everyone.